It's pretty wild to think about, isn't it? How one single missing piece of paper could lead to one of the deadliest industrial disasters in modern history. It sounds almost impossible, but sometimes the most catastrophic failures start with the smallest, most overlooked detail. And on July 6th, 1988, that one single point of failure, it led to this number. 167 people lost their lives. This is the story of the Piper Alpha disaster, and honestly, it's a brutal reminder of what's really at stake when communication fails. So let's set the scene. We're talking about the Piper Alpha platform, operated by Occidental Petroleum. This thing was a giant in the middle of the North Sea, a massive hub for oil and gas production, a complex, high-pressure environment where safety procedures were supposed to be, well, absolutely ironclad. And our story really kicks off on what should have been a totally normal day. Just routine maintenance. The focus was on two really critical pieces of equipment, a pair of condensate pumps. Okay, so the setup was pretty straightforward. You've got two pumps. Pump B's chugging along, doing its job, keeping everything running. But Pump A is a different story. It's offline for maintenance, and crucially, its pressure safety valve has been completely removed. This thing is not just offline, it's an active hazard. It's basically a ticking time bomb waiting for someone to hit the on switch. Now, to stop exactly this kind of thing from happening, the platform used a permit-to-work system. And you can think of this as the ultimate safety checklist. It's a formal documented process that's supposed to make sure everyone, on every single shift, knows exactly what's safe to touch and what is absolutely off-limits. But here's the thing about any system, right? It's only as good as the people who use it, and the fatal breakdown happened right here. It wasn't a mechanical failure, not at first. It was a missing paper trail, a simple breakdown in communication during a shift change, where the critical memo about Pump A's dangerous status just got lost. So let's just walk through how fast this all went down. At 6 p.m., the day shift hands over to the night shift. But the permit for Pump A, yeah, that information doesn't make it across. Fast forward to 9:45 p.m. The operational pump, Pump B, suddenly fails. Now the pressure is on. They need to get production back online. So just 10 minutes later, at 9:55, the night crew makes the decision. Let's restart Pump A. And this brings us to the big glaring question, doesn't it? We know Pump A was a death trap. So why in the world would they start it? I mean, these were experienced guys. They knew what they were doing. The answer is just devastatingly simple. That one piece of paper, the permit that basically screamed, "Danger, do not start this pump," it wasn't where it was supposed to be. The night crew was flying blind. They made a decision that, based on the information they had, was completely logical. The moment they hit that switch, the consequences were immediate, and they were violent. Starting that unprepared pump wasn't just a mistake. It was like uncorking a volcano right in the heart of the platform. And then, the dominoes just fell, one after another in seconds. High-pressure gas floods out of that open pipe. It forms this huge, flammable cloud. Within moments, it finds a spark. And boom. The first explosion rips through the platform, completely destroying the control room and the very systems designed to fight a fire. And see, this wasn't just one explosion. The first blast was a knockout blow. It crippled all the platform's defenses. Emergency shutdown systems failed. And to make things so much worse, pipelines from other platforms just kept pumping more fuel into the inferno. It turned a terrible disaster into an absolute apocalypse. In the aftermath of all this horror, some incredibly important lessons emerged. Lessons forged in fire, you could say. This disaster became a tragic but vital case study in why clear, unambiguous documentation isn't just bureaucratic paperwork. It is literally a lifeline. The official investigation, led by Lord Cullen, put it in black and white. His report pointed directly to a breakdown of the permit-to-work system and the failure to communicate between shifts as the root cause. It was a complete system failure, starting with that one little communication gap. And look, if you compare best practices for safety with what actually happened on Piper Alpha, it's just night and day. Best practice demands clear accountability, total traceability, and complete visibility of risks. On Piper Alpha, none of that was there. No one officially owned the pump status. Its dangerous condition wasn't recorded where it mattered, and because of that, the operators were completely in the dark about the risk they were taking. So, if you take away just one single thing from this whole story, please let it be this. If a system override, like taking a critical pump offline for maintenance, is not clearly and reliably documented, then operators, through no fault of their own, can unknowingly put an entire facility and everyone in it in the most extreme danger. And that really leaves us with a challenging question, one that we all have to ask. The lesson from Piper Alpha is timeless. In our own complex systems, our own jobs, is our override status documented with the life or death clarity required to prevent the next disaster?